Ah, there we are. There's our cue. Thanks, Bill. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
And I'm Adele Quo.
And here we go with another show. This is our second show in April.
It's going fast.
Holy cow, April's flying by. Tax time is just right around the corner. Hope you get your taxes done.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cherry blossom season and all that good stuff. And finally, spring is on the way. No more snow, we hope. And
no more, please.
We've got news and community bulletin board. Adele is here with
It's easy being green.
I missed doing that last week.
I know, our timing is so perfect.
Great job last week,
Much
you guys, while I'm in my absence. Rich is here with his reviews, news for seniors. And then Rich, that's it. He just got reviews tonight, no double duty. And Miriam's doing an interview with Mark
congressional
Levine.
Candidate Mark Levine.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, and that's our show. But before we begin, a social media reminder.
Absolutely, Craig Nolan. Well, we have the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News, and the number one. And also you can visit us on facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. So please visit us on our social media websites.
All right, Daniel, and now the news with my news for seniors glasses
With the
on.
glasses.
Here we go. Oh, that's what it looks like. Arlington County's special election on Tuesday, April 8th, is over, and the results are in. 4 candidates ran for the county board seat, which was vacated by longtime county board member Chris Zimmerman. Candidate Alan Howes, a Democrat, faced off against John Weistat, an independent and local Republican, and Green endorsement Stephen Holbrook, another independent, and Janet Murphy, an environmentally green independent. Arlington is predominantly Democratic, but it was Weistat, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, who won the election, the first non-Democrat since 1999. Mr. Weistat had 57% of the vote. Alan Howes close second with 41, well, not too close. Janet Murphy and Stephen Holbrook both with 1%. So congratulations to Arlington County Board's newest member.
Absolutely. Congratulations goes out to him. Well, last week we reported on the controversial review of the proposed Columbia Pike streetcar by HR&A advisors. Now County Board Chair Jay Fiset has weighed in on the discussion. Fiset welcomes scrutiny of the study. However, he is adamant that a bus rapid transit system, or BRT, is not an option, even though there's strong support for it. There is speculation that Vistat's win is the voters pushing back against the county board's major capital spending project. Vistat is apparently opposed to the Columbia Pike streetcar project. For more information on the streetcar project, just visit the county website for more information. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and next in our news items, well, 4 Arlington Public School students won awards at the recent annual Virginia Science Fair. 20 Arlington school students competed in the event. The event was held at the VMI, Virginia Military Institute, at the end of March, but the winners weren't announced until early April. The students are Natalie Slater from HB Woodlawn. She took second place in the Behavioral and Social Sciences category. Gail McGill and Natalie Scolata, Natalie Scolata, it's not that hard, from Washington Lee High School took 3rd place in chemistry, and Michelle Howard from Washington Lee took 3rd place in computer sciences. Congratulations to all those Virginia high school students. Good job.
Congratulations,
Excellent.
Absolutely, Craig. I mean, such a great accomplishment goes out
stuff.
to all of them. Well, the county school board has asked the superintendent to examine the feasibility of shortening school walk zones. The board made the proposal based on recommendations from the Multimodal Transportation and Student Safety Special Committee. The superintendent must present his findings by July the 1st, and if you need more information on the request, visit the APS website and check out the board docs section. Craig.
Well, and in case you hadn't noticed, it's cherry blossom season here in Washington again. More than 1,000 of the metro area's cherry blossom trees are right here in Arlington, according to the National Park Service. The trees of the tidal basin will be in their peak bloom this week from the 8th through the 12th of April. Arlington plants between 25 and 35 flowering cherry blossom trees. So it's cherry blossom season. Get out there and enjoy. In case you hadn't noticed, enjoy the cherry blossoms. They're everywhere this time of year, and with the weather It's just wonderful.
Such an exciting time
It's
for
really
here
great.
in our
All right,
region.
we'll be back with our CBB Community Bulletin Board. Unless you have another one. Do you have another story?
No.
Okay, our CBB is coming up right after we hear from Adele, and it's
easy being green.
Here's
Adele, take it away.
Well, what a lead-in. The non-native cherry blossoms. They are beautiful, they're just not native. But it is easy being green planting our locally native trees. A couple weeks ago, we recognized that for the 17th year in a row, Arlington has been named a 2012 Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation. In 2009, the Unique Tree Canopy Fund, or TCF, was launched to stop the decline and restore the Arlington County's tree cover over time. Administered by Arlingtonians for a Clean Environment, ACE, and the Arlington County Urban Forestry Commission, UFC, the TCF provides grants to individuals and community groups to plant and maintain large, locally native trees on private property. Since its inception, 1,213 trees have been planted. If you are interested in participating, complete an expression of interest form for your project online. For more details, visit the website on your screen. It's very important to note that this expression of interest form is not a tree request form, nor is it a complete application form. It's simply an expression of your interest in the program. Civic organizations and individuals are welcome to participate. Priority will be given to individuals and groups that complete the expression of interest form by Friday, April 25th. And for those of you that are interested, mark your calendars to attend the information session at Arlington Central Library on Monday, May 5th at 7 p.m. All tree request forms must be submitted online by Friday, June 20th. You will need to fill out one online application form per tree, and there are different forms. The TCF will only offer large native trees with a mature height ranging from 40 to 100 feet. To receive smaller trees with mature height ranging from 20 to 35 feet, you can apply to Arlington County's Tree Distribution Program. They will offer free tree whips at a distribution event this coming October. So more on that, the smaller tree distribution program, next week. Notice of awards will be distributed in time for the fall planting season, which runs from October to January. There are species that benefit from planting in the spring, so some planting may occur in the months of March through April. Remember, it's easy being green, increasing our tree canopy.
Thank you so much, Adele, for those stories.
All right, good job.
Absolutely.
Love the environment. Plant a tree.
Plant a tree
Plant
or
a tree.
more.
Good job. Thanks, Adele. We appreciate it.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Yep.
Here we go now, as promised, with our CBB, or Community Bulletin Board file. And the first item is Arlington, all about Arlington Arts Center, the AAC. Is a community-based nonprofit organization. They present and support new, contemporary, and Mid-Atlantic-based visual arts programs and artists. They show up to 12 exhibits each year and need lots of support this spring, especially for their 2014 Spring Solo exhibit, the annual Contemporary Arts Festival, and classes. If you can volunteer for any of the following activities, give them a call at 703-248-6800 or check their website, www.arlingtonartscenter.org, and they'll give you more information there. Daniel.
Well, ACC needs volunteers before and during their 2014 Spring Solos exhibition. On April the 14th, 15th, and the 16th, they need gallery installation assistance for several preparation activities, including painting interior walls and painting artwork. The work will be for at least 3 hours. Craig.
All right, and continuing with our all-ACC volunteer CBB information here, the art unveiling for the 2014 Spring Solos exhibit is on Saturday, April 26th. There'll be a VIP reception for all AAC members on Tuesday, April 29. Both receptions need assistance to help set up before, clean up after, and bartend and greet during the event. So there's a volunteer opportunity for someone there. Daniel?
Well, the center will also hold the first annual Contemporary Arts Festival on Saturday. That's May the 17th. There will be food, music, hands-on activities, arts demonstrations, open studios, and yes, you guessed it, and a small work sale. Festival assistants are needed to help artists during workshops, greet visitors, and set up and clean up the location. Craig?
And also more information on AAC now, and in the spring and year-round, AAC, ACC, I'm not sure what we're talking about here, needs classroom assistance. Volunteers must be available on weekday afternoons during the school year and throughout the day over the summer. The tasks include helping with classroom prep and cleanup, art projects, and supervising students during lunch and other breaks. Okay.
And yes, and correct.
One more.
And again, if you need to want to help out the Arlington Arts Center, just give them a call at 703-248-6800, or you can even visit their website at arlingtonartscenter.org.
Cool. Okay, we'll be back with news for seniors right after we hear from Rich and his reviews. Take
Hey,
it
Rich.
away, Rich.
Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. It doesn't happen often, but the other day at the Metropolitan Opera, I go to those simulcasts that are done at the Boston Regal Theater, and they were doing La Boheme, and the star of it, Anita Hastig, was supposed to be Mimi, who's the star of the show of La Boheme, got sick and came down with the flu, and the last minute, Rudolph Bing, excuse me, that was the former head of Metropolitan Opera, Peter Gelb, had to turn to Christine Opalais to do the role. He called her at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday. 2 hours before, at 5 o'clock, she said she went to bed, and she had just finished doing Madame Butterfly the night before, and she was marvelous, just marvelous. So I love the Metropolitan Opera simulcasts. Anyway, you can look them up under www.metopera.org. And on April 26th, they're going to do the comedy Così fan tutti, and at the Boston Regal Theaters in Boston. Wonderful, wonderful. Metro Stage has a show in repertory. That means 2 one-man shows. Okay, 2 one-man shows. One is The Thousandth Night, and that's starring Marcus Kidd. He's a French actor who supposedly headed by the train in 1943 to his death, thanks to the Nazis. Paul Morello will star in the next show. I know both these actors very well. At George Mason University Center for the Arts had Moscow Festival Ballet, which they performed on Sunday, April 6th, and they did things from Romeo and Juliet, Don Quixote, Cinderella. Anyway, get to know Virginia Opera. Call up, check the website at CFA, that's for Center for Fine, Center for the Arts, cfa.gmu.edu. Can't go wrong. The National Theater had Hal Holbrook. He just finished like a 4-day thing. Hal Holbrook, you guys remember him? He's the expert on Mark Twain. He's been doing it for 60 years. Anyway, on West Side Story is coming there on June 8th, National Theater. For information, call 202-628-6161 or check the website, the nationaldc.org. And finally, one of the best shows I've seen in Washington in my 30 years of covering this stuff is Camp David at the Arena Stage. And if you can remember, back then with Jimmy Carter in the middle of the 70s, he brought Menachem Begin, the Israeli head, and he brought Anwar Sadat, and to go to Camp David so they wouldn't be around anybody. They'd just be in the country together. And they spent almost 2 weeks, 13 days, till finally they got a signature from Menachem Begin. It is just absolutely wonderful. Ron Rifkin, he plays Begin, and Khalid Nabawi plays Sadat, and Hallie Foote plays Rosalind Carter. It was wonderful. The night I was there, Jimmy Carter himself and Rosalind Carter showed up.
Wow.
Super.
That was something.
That's
that was
cool.
something. Yeah.
Very
well,
nice, Rich.
Thank you, folks. Everything's wonderful, and see you next time.
That's at Arena?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they could do
Yeah,
good
they play
stuff
till
down
May
there.
4.
All right.
Till May 4.
Good
It's worth
stuff.
going there to see. It's wonderful.
Excellent. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rich.
Okay, moving along now, as promised, here is our News for Seniors segment. Geocaching is the recreational activity where participants search for hidden objects using a GPS system. Members of the Northern Virginia Geocaching Organization will host an informational session on geocaching on in Arlington on Friday, April 18 at 1:30 in the afternoon. For more information and to register for this free program, give them a call, 703-228-5722. Daniel.
Sarah Collins, the former president and current member of the Arlington Historical Society, will conduct an informative and interactive history hour on women in Arlington. This free program will take place on Thursday, April the 17th at 11 a.m. at Arlington Mills Senior Center. Call to register at 703-228-7369. Craig.
And also Earth Day, Earth Day, Earth Day. You've heard about it. Well, it's coming up in recognition of Earth Day, which is April 22nd. A county environmental resources representative will give tips on conserving water, electricity, and other resources. The presentation will be held Wednesday, April 16, 6:30 in the evening at Arlington Mill Senior Center. Call to register for this free program. Give them a call at 703-228-7369.
And continuing on Earth Day, Culpeper Guardian Senior Center will also commemorate Earth Day. From Monday, April the 21st to Friday, April the 25th, the center will display a public exhibit illustrating 50 ways to save the Earth. For more information on this free event, yes, free, call 703-228-4403.
Earth Day, Earth Day,
Earth Day, yep.
Good stuff.
Coming up.
All right, and finally in our News for Seniors segment, Inside the Vatican. Inside the Vatican. Yes, indeed. It is a video of rare footage exploring the Vatican's history, traditions, and ceremonies. You can see secret archives and private chapels and hear from Vatican officials and historians. That'll be shown on Wednesday, April 16 at 1 in the afternoon at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. Be sure to register early for this free program. Give them a call, 703-228-4403. And as always, thanks to Judy Masadni of OSAP for helping us out and sending us these announcements. Thanks, Judy. We appreciate it. Okay, up next is Miriam Gennari and her guest. Here's Miriam.
Hey, Miriam.
Thank you. And now, welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari, and I'm here with Mark Levine, congressional candidate. He is hoping to replace our beloved Jim Moran, who will be stepping down. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me, Miriam. It's
Mark,
wonderful.
You're a celebrity for many reasons. I think a lot of it could be work that you started doing many years ago. I want you to tell me some of the things that motivate you to run for Congress.
Wow. Well, to me, it's always been about helping people. It's always been about what I could do. I see something going wrong in society, and I just want to change it. I see some mentally ill young man get another gun, and it's too easy, and they're in a mall, and I turn on the TV, and there are a bunch of people that are dead, and I don't want to ever get used to it. So
you're not afraid of injustice and facing things head on.
I hate injustice, and I'm determined to stop injustice. And that's, in fact, I was just telling you in the green room, probably the first thing I ever had to work on was when my sister was murdered in 1996, and I had to get justice for her. It took us 10 years. I had to learn Illinois law, Tennessee law, and even Mexican law. I actually went down to Mexico. I had people chase me with guns. It wasn't an easy experience.
And you're one of the good lawyers. You wrote legislation that protects women.
I did. I wrote legislation to protect, well, they're mostly women, let's face it. Most of the victims of domestic violence are women, and it allows them to escape with their children. And actually, one thing I want to talk about in this campaign, right here in Arlington, there are only 11 beds in all of Arlington County for victims of domestic violence, which I think is atrocious, and the hotline isn't working very well. And one of the things I want to do is bring more attention to this issue so that in Arlington, we can get better treatment for victims of domestic violence.
Okay, and another topic that's very near and dear to my heart is the cost of college, university education.
That's my signature plan.
How can the federal government help?
Well, it's actually, it's funny. One of the candidates in this race on Facebook, I won't say who, said, there's nothing we can do about college costs. And I said, you're not thinking outside the box. So first of all, colleges have tripled in cost in the last 30 years. That's after inflation. They've gone up 6 times. Inflation has doubled. They've tripled. Now, people complain about the cost of health care, and health care is through the roof. Health care has gone up 50% in the last 30 years. That's really high. nothing compared to education. It's way through the roof. So there's some things we can do. One is obviously give more money to kids. We used to under the GI Bill, you could go to college for free. It was great. In my dad's generation, he could work a summer job, unskilled labor, pay for half of college. You can't do that anymore. So we need more money there. We also need to lower student loan rates. That's what Elizabeth Warren is talking about. But both of those things cost more money.
The rates, you mean the interest rates?
The interest rates.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, lower it down to what the banks pay.
Absolutely.
We make $20 billion a year off our students. That doesn't make any sense.
No. This should not be a cash cow.
But there's one plan that I have that no one's proposed yet, and I want to get that through Congress. I'm confident Elizabeth Warren will support me with it. It's to use the power of the federal government to negotiate down college costs. And the reason is, it goes like this. When they determine how much a student gets for loans, they look at what the student can pay and they look at what the college costs, and they pay a percentage of the difference. If the college raises their rates, they get more federal, state, and local money. There's an incentive to raise their rates. The more they raise, the more subsidy they get. I would take that same pot of money, and the reason why I think I can get this through Republicans is because the Congressional Budget Office would score it 0. Fiscal conservatives will love my plan.
I'm a fiscal conservative.
Well, it would cost 0. Take the same pot of money and instead give it to the colleges who lower their tuition costs and agree to a state-federal partnership to keep their rates at the rate of inflation.
Right. Bringing down the cost or at least slowing the increase.
It's slowing the increase, and the ones that don't do that, they're not going to get federal, state, local aid. That's a hefty chunk of what colleges make. So they're going to have a large incentive to do that.
Okay, that's an exciting plan. And can you sell plans? Well, the fact that you have some experience working for Barney Frank,
right.
The fact that you know people in Congress already,
right.
Do you think that gives you an edge?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, I was chief counsel to Congressman Barney Frank. I'm proud to say that I persuaded Hillary Clinton to change her mind on a very important piece of legislation, George Bush's faith-based initiative, actually, which would have allowed the government to discriminate on the basis of religion. Hillary Clinton was originally for this bill, and it wasn't just her. There were more than 60 senators for this bill.
People often make mistakes and need to be educated on both sides of the aisle, and you think you can do that.
Well, and what she's so good about is that she put her pride aside. She had made a mistake.
Hey.
She read the complex legal brief that I'd written, and she's a wonk. She loves details. She's brilliant. So she went through it. She asked me about some footnotes. She changed her mind, and she changed 13 senators' minds, and that's how I killed George Bush's faith-based initiative in 2002.
Or any initiatives that are not good for the country.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I do want to touch on before I let you go, Jim Moran was a champion for trying to eliminate the use of single-use polystyrene. Yes. He also believed in, exactly, and waste to energy. Where do you think you can make a contribution in the environment in terms of sustainability on issues like
Well, first
styrofoam?
of all, I agree with you with styrofoam. It shouldn't be used for food. It commingles. It gets in your body. It's dangerous. My big issue that I've been focusing on, though, mostly is the mountaintop bombing. Oh. So right now, in order to get coal, instead of sending coal miners in and paying their wages, companies are now blowing up the most beautiful mountain ranges in the world. The Appalachian Mountains are some of the oldest mountain ranges. They're 4 billion years old. They take these beautiful rounded mountains with trees and wildlife, and they blow them up, and they look like moonscapes. It's awful. And then all that arsenic and cadmium and selenium, naturally occurring poisons, go out of the mountain and into our rivers. They float right down. I want to swim in the Potomac.
Okay, we're
running out of time, right?
Well, yeah, we're running out of time, but one thing that I can definitely say that you've convinced me of is that not only do you know great detailed facts about lots of different issues, but you're willing to dig a little bit deeper and come up with answers that really are logical decisions.
We have to think outside the box.
Exactly.
I am tired of conventional politicians that go to Washington, cast the vote with their party, and go home. That's the mere minimum. I'm a Democrat. I support the Democrats, but sometimes the Democrats are wrong. Sometimes we have to challenge the Democrats from the left, and I do that too. Okay,
well, I want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to go to Mark Levine's website.
Thank you.
And that is?
LevineForCongress.com or theaggressiveprogressive.com will get you there too.
That'll help you find Mark Levine. I've enjoyed talking to you today.
Thank you. All too short. We have to do this again.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks for watching this week's news.
Thanks for having me, Miriam.
There we go.
Thanks,
Miriam. Talking with Mr. Mark Levine.
Congressional candidate.
Congressional candidate. All right. Well, that's about a wrap for this edition. Anything else to add before we go?
Everything was wonderful.
Everything was great.
YouTube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the #1.
Thanks you, Mr. Pineda, and thanks to all of you for watching
Thank
this
you.
edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Next week, if you're there, we'll be here and we'll do it all again. Have a safe week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.